Good morning, everybody, from Atlanta, Georgia. In fact, this is the first Thursday it's not been raining. We got that going for us. This is The World According to Graves. I'm your host, Robin Graves, the guy with the 80s hair. Uh, Let me get this out of the way. Mike, a little something different for you. Found it. Where is it? Light, yes. Beavis and Butthead, the entire collection. Look at the size of this mother. All 12 DVDs, all three seasons, special stuff, the movie, everything's in this. My wife saw it and jumped on it and got it for me. Oh, wow. I get to sit there and watch my role models. So let me get the sippage out of the way. No Pepsi today. Mountain Dew. I'll get this right one day. Excuse me. Okay. Sorry about this being the only one this week. I've been running into technical difficulties. My niece has been here and I've had no privacy to do this. Uh, I had something really written up, really nice to be, to do. It came up missing. I think my niece might have thought it was rubbish and threw it away or something. I don't know. That's one of the reasons. I don't know. One of the reasons that I can't do this with anybody here. People always try to get in the way. The last time I tried doing this with somebody here, I couldn't keep them off the camera. They kept coming on being an asshole. So, you guys forgive me for this. I decided, since I don't have a show prepared for this week, I'm going to do a rant. Let's just make this a fucking rant fest. You know, um, I saw the highlights of the debate recently. Um, Nobody wants me to watch it on TV anymore. They're tired of me falling on the floor, laughing, rolling around, and peeing myself. Um, Monty Python's Flying Circus, one of my favorite comedies of all time, has nothing on what's been going on. And God, I'm getting gray. Look at that. Anyway, from what I understand, Mr. Mikey Bloomberg pretty much got his ass kicked. Pretty much. Um, I'm not worried about Bloomberg getting anything. I don't expect him to actually be a candidate very much longer. The more he talks, the more he's killing himself, killing his chances. So, Mikey boy, please keep talking. Please keep speaking. 'Cause every time you open your mouth, shit flies out. Biden, on the other hand, I don't expect him to be around. Klobuchar, Tulsi Gabbard, no, they're not going to be around either. But it's still a little too early in the season to actually say who's going to be the candidate. Right now, everything points towards Bernie Sanders. Now, I'm going to say some things about Bernie Sanders in just a few minutes that some of you won't agree with. Um, I'm pretty sure I'm going to catch hell for this. But I want to say a few things first before I get into him. This is kind of important. There's a lot of back and forth going on between the left and the right now. Those on the right and those of you on the left, and there's a lot of things on it. See, I want to tell you some people, Democrats. I want to tell you a little secret here, a little bit about human psychology. See, you've referred to everybody on the right as Nazis, racists, sexists, homophobes, repugs, cultists. Everything. You're not making your point. Period. You're not making a point here. Coming at somebody and insulting them, and I'm talking to people on the right too. I'm talking to you guys also about on this part. Going after somebody and insulting them is not changing their point of view. It just cements their point of view. It proves their point. Going and calling a Democrat, a demon rat, whatever. You're not making a difference. You're insulting their belief. You insult a person's beliefs, it just makes it harder and harder to get them to see a point other than theirs. Democrats and Republicans are both guilty of this. I say what I want to and when I want to because I'm not either party. I don't care about parties. I'm worried about the person. To me, parties are pretty much useless at this point in our existence. Right now, I am going to tell you my view on this. This isn't Republican versus Democrat in this election, period. Any of you who have been paying attention To cats are having fun over here. Please excuse the noise if you hear any. Um, I'll be getting a new microphone soon. One's more directional. This picks up everything in the room. Um, if you guys watch, every Democrat nominee, anytime they ask anything about Medicare for all, socialized medicine, free college, not going to happen. Ending college debt, excusing all college debt, that's going to cost more money than what they think. Anything like that, anytime anything's asked about that, they all held up their hands. They're all for it. Anytime there's anything that sounds socialist, they're all for it. Right now, it's not just socialism we have to worry about. The entire Democrat Party right now is pretty much playing victim. They're blaming everybody else for problems that have occurred on their watch. Not just the voters, mainly their representation in the American government. They're always pointing fingers. I want you to look at who was, the guy that the black guy from the TV series. I can't mention their names because I was told that, well, it makes people mad. And I've actually had a viewer walk away because I said something about a TV show one time that they really liked. Fuck it. What's his name from Empire? The guy that did a fake hate crime. I've noticed that anytime the media, which are puppets right now of the Democrats in Congress, the Democrat Party in general, they're house organs for them. Anytime anybody wants to be known or get TV time or be famous for even a short while, they go and they claim victimhood due to sexual orientation, gender, or race. It's always one of those three. Black Lives Matter was a good organization when it first came out. It meant well. But these organizations, even the Me Too movement, pander to the lowest common denominator. Continuously, they start off good and end up being a parody of what they wanted to be. Jussie Smollett faked an attack by Trump supporters and sub-freezing weather. It was found out to be a hoax, a hate crime hoax. A lot of those are happening here lately. Anytime an African American gentleman gets arrested for a crime, there's always a social justice movement running and screaming how it was racist for him to be arrested. I was watching court proceedings the other day, and a gentleman of African American descent who robbed an elderly woman who was using a walker, robbed her at knife point, claimed that the only reason he was arrested is because he was black. It got a little bit of notoriety locally. But this is a common habit that's going on. And so far, the Democrat nominees are playing into this. They're pandering big time. This is not Republicans versus Democrats or capitalism versus socialism so much as it's normal-minded human beings versus the social justice thing, this whole social justice movement. You know, we've got women running for president right now, and the only thing that they're running on is they deserve to be president because they're a woman. Well, if a woman wants to run for president, make damn sure she's qualified. I don't care if she's who's running, as long as they're qualified, and I think they're going to run. They're going to lead this country in a good direction, male or female, black or white. I don't care. I'll vote for them. I don't care about party. I don't care about ideology other than how they're going to affect the common person in this country. Where are they going to lead this country? I think Trump's running the country pretty well. He's led us pretty well so far. People are saying, "Well, he won't let us have a raise. Nobody's making enough money. We want to raise the minimum wage." You don't know economics, do you? Okay. Right now, people are complaining that groceries have skyrocketed. Well, if you notice, everybody's gotten a 3.8% raise. Everybody has. If you haven't, don't blame the president. Blame your workplace. Blame the person paying you. Okay. Now, that's enough of that rant. I want to go back to what I was really speaking about. Bernie Sanders. It seems that he's the golden boy at this moment. At this very moment, he's the golden boy. Biden is going to be bye-bye before long. Everybody's running out of money. This is where, if whoever makes it through Super Tuesday is going to be the one running for president, so, for the Democratic Party. I do believe that it's going to be one of them is going to be Bernie Sanders. And I hope it is. I hope Bernie becomes a nominee for president. I hope he is the one running for president at the end against Trump. I want him to. I'm not worried about Bloomberg. Bloomberg's not going to make it. Nobody wants to see billionaire versus billionaire. Nobody wants to see that. That reminds me of something. Let me get this out really quick. Okay. When Trump was running, everybody, all of you on the left, there were a lot of you snowflakes out there that are screaming, he needs to give his money to charity. He needs to give it all to a charity. Why aren't you saying that about Bloomberg? Bloomberg's got more money than Trump. Why don't you tell him to give all of his money to charity? Hell, the man bought his way into the DNC. I mean, don't tell me he didn't. Every time you turn around, he's giving them hundreds of thousands of dollars, donating. He's buying his way in after the DNC said, nope, you can't do that. And they turned around and did it anyway. It shows how trustworthy they are. They're pretty wishy-washy. But back to Sanders. I want him to run. I want him to be the Democrat nominee for president. I want him to be the guy that goes after Trump. I hope he is. I really want it. Because it's going to show just how silly he is. It's going to show this guy has no clue. The man, at least Biden is saying how much it's going to cost, how they've done it for that amount before, and it worked for Medicare for All. For the programs, he has a price tag. Buttigieg has a price tag, how much it's going to cost, how they're going to do it. Sanders, the man has no clue what it's going to cost. All he thinks is that, oh, we got billions of trillions of dollars. I'm going to take it from the rich, give it to the poor, give you free shit. Right now with his healthcare plan, it is so expensive. He could tax every multi-millionaire 100% of their income. Tax them for everything. It'll run his healthcare plan for 5 months. How is he going to afford it after 5 months? He wants to cut government spending, for unnecessary things like our military. Our military is unnecessary. Okay, what are we going to do if anything happens? We don't have a military. We're totally defenseless. He wants to open borders. He wants to allow anybody to come in here anytime they want to. They're welcome to come here. How do we afford the ones we do have here now? Right now, Bernie Sanders has people working for him that are undocumented citizens, illegal aliens. They're the ones who voted him up big time in Arizona. These are illegal aliens. There is proof. There is voter fraud right now in the for the candidates of DNC. There is proof. There is voter fraud. But is anybody doing anything about it? No. Right now, there's a thing right now, you have a time limit to get a driver's license. There's got to be a star on the top, otherwise it's invalid ID for a lot of things like air traveling, from airport to airport, from country to country. To even come into this country, you have to, you got to have proof of who you are and everything. This little star that's on the top right-hand corner of your driver's license, mine has it. I would look for my driver's license. I don't even know where the hell it's at anymore. I have to look for it. If you don't have, they need to put it where you go to vote. You've got to show this ID, this state ID they give you. Now, everybody's telling me, well, that's racist because black people can't do that. They can't go get an ID. They can cash a welfare check, can't they? They go buy booze to show proof of ID, proof of age. Well, why can't they show proof of who they are when they go and vote? It'll sure keep people from voting multiple times. During the Trump election, I voted for Trump November 2016. Uh, there was a woman in there in line, that was bragging about how how she's voted 4 times so today. It's bad when people are bragging about that. I like Hillary so much, I voted for her 4 times today. Don't tell me there's not voter fraud. There is. It's been proven over and over again. And Bernie Sanders right now is having illegals voting for him. He has illegals on his staff. Okay. He's pandering to the Hispanics. See, the thing is, that's what a lot of politicians do. They will pander to whoever, to everybody, to get to vote for them. They don't give a shit about you. They don't care about, what have the Democrats done? What have the Democrats done in 4 years? What have they done? What have they done for you? Nothing. All they've done is try to impeach a duly elected president. They've tried to frame him, and every time they do anything, it explodes in their face. I do know for a fact if Trump wins, which I do believe he will, everything shows he will. They're going to keep doing this. They're going to keep trying to get him. Even that asshole Nadler made a comment, "Oh, we're still going to go for him, and if he goes, we're going after Pence." Yeah, okay, whatever. But you Bernie Sanders fans out there, oh, you're all for socialism. You're all for it. You know, I've had so many of you tell me, well, capitalism doesn't work. Maybe we need to try socialism. What about capitalism doesn't work? What? You quit high school and can't get a job someplace? Go get your GED, join the military, do something with your life. Jesus, don't sit there with your hand stuck up my ass looking for me to give you something. So I'm not giving you anything. I don't have it to give. I think I have a couple of laptops and a leather jacket. It's pretty much all I own. It's worth anything. But you act like I have all the money in the world because, well, I'm not a Democrat. So you come up to me and tell me I need to pay my fair share. You know, but we're going to talk a little bit about socialism right now. I've got this planned. I found this online. These are 10 reasons why you should reject socialism. We're going to go through all 10 of these. This may run a little long today. I got to make up for yesterday anyway, and I really don't have a hell of a lot to do today, except for, well, I need to watch a little TV. I don't get to do that often. My niece is gone. Nobody's dominating the TV, so it's my turn now. Anyway, let's do 10 reasons why you should reject socialism, shall we? Number 1. Socialism and communism are the same ideology. I don't care what you people say that well, maybe this will work because socialism has been done this way before. Yes, it has, and it's always failed. It's always failed. Right now, there's only 17% of America thinks that socialism is so wonderful. Most of them are millennials. Most of them are millennials who have no life experiences, have never worked anywhere, who have never had to raise a family or move out of their mommy's basement. You know, they've been in college most of their adult life, and they have no clue what's going on. All they know is the indoctrination these so-called college professors are doing to them. I need to ask you a question out there, college students that buy into this bullshit. If socialism is so wonderful, why isn't your teacher, your college professors, teaching you for free? Why? Why are they being paid so much? Answer that. But anyway, socialism and communism are the same ideology. Communism is an extreme form of socialism. Socialism you vote your way into. Communism is forced on you. But it's the same ideology. The same rules apply. You know, from the ideological standpoint, there is no substantial difference between the two. In fact, the Communist Soviet Union called itself the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics is from 1922 to 1991. Boy, did it fail. God. You didn't see anybody except for Bernie Sanders trying to escape to Russia, did you? You know, it all ends up being where you have nothing. You're all equally broke. You're all equally with nothing. Innovation drops. Nobody has a reason to innovate anything. Socialism is stalemate. Okay, it stagnates. You think it's great now because you think you'll get all this free shit. Think more than 5 minutes into the future. See where this goes. Play it out to its end game. and then tell me how great socialism is. Socialism violates personal freedom. Yes, it does. Socialism seeks to eliminate injustice by transferring rights and responsibilities from individuals and families to the state. In the process, socialism actually creates injustice. It destroys true liberty, the freedom to decide all matters that lie within our own competence, and to follow the course shown by our reason within the laws of morality, including the dictates of justice and charity. Let me break that down, just so some of you dweebs out there can understand this. It violates personal freedom by taking all freedom you have, your choice, your freedom of choice, what you want to do with your life, how you want to do it, away from you. You can't, it takes away your chances of making a better life for yourself because everybody's equal. It's meant to keep everybody down, everybody on the same level. Now, a lot of you think, well, that's only fair. Well, what if you want to do something better with your life than the next guy? What if you want to advance yourself and have something nice for once? Socialism keeps you from doing that because they want to make you all equally poor. The only people in a socialist society that prospers is the government and then their top leaders. You don't have it. Let's put it this way. You have $2. They're going to take $1 away from you to give it to somebody who has no dollars. They're going to tax you on the last dollar you have, and you'll have less. Now, a lot of you think, well, I'll go for 70% taxes if it goes to something good. You'll say that until you don't have the money to live. You don't have the money for food. You don't have the money to pay your bills. You don't have money to buy clothes. Your cell phone isn't paid for. Your internet isn't paid for. Your computer breaks down. You can't afford a new one. Your iPhone doesn't work anymore. Are you going to go get a new one? No, because you can't afford it. Let me get a little sippage here, guys. I'm on a roll here. See right there, don't hurt nobody. So, anyway, socialism violates human nature. Socialism is anti-natural. It destroys personal initiative, a fruit of our intellect and free will, and replaces it with state control. It tends to totalitarianism, with its government and police repression wherever it is implemented. Socialism and communism ends up being forced on you more and more as it goes along. Socialism is communism. Let's just call it communism. Get it out of the way. No more socialism. People think socialism and communism are different. No, they're not. One is just voted in. The other one is forced on you, which it ends up being forced on you anyway. You have no say in what goes on. If the government's doing something you don't like, what are you going to do? You're going to vote them out? No, you can't. You can't make that decision. You're not allowed to anymore. You're just a cog in the friggin' machine. Everybody says, I tell people, well, look at Venezuela. Look how bad it is. They say, well, that's not going to be the way it is here because it's going to be done different. No, it's going to be the same thing. The state owns everything. The state owns you. Don't tell me how, well, it's no different than now. Yes, it is. Oh, God, yes, it is. I lived during the cold part of the Cold War. I remember being in the 80s. So afraid. Not because of propaganda, but because in high school we had to study communism to know what it was. They weren't trying to tell us how great it was. They were telling us the truth. It was scary. And you people want to vote this shit in? You're beyond words. You know, socialism destroys. It destroys. You know, your incentive to do better. You know, you think, well, it's a worker's paradise. We're all workers. No, it's not a worker's paradise. Well, it is if you want to work yourself in the ground for nothing. You know, innovation stops. Incentive stops. You know, the only reason you get a raise at work is you have the innovation, you have the drive to do better, to show you could do better, that you're worth more money. Socialism takes that away from you. So, let's go to this next one. Socialism violates private property. This is one that bothers me quite a bit. Socialism calls for redistributing the wealth by taking from the rich to give to the poor. It imposes taxes and punishes those who have been able to take greater advantage of their productive talents, capacity to work, or save money. It uses taxation to promote economic and social egalitarianism. Whatever. I just butchered that word to pieces, didn't I? Sorry about that, guys. A goal that will be fully achieved according to the Communist Manifesto with the abolition of private property. Well, there are those of you out there who don't own property, but you have a car. Okay, you have a nice car. Let's get rid of that car. Get you a lesser, a lesser car, and get somebody who doesn't have a car just like yours. Another, let's say you got a Prius. You get rid of they'll take it away from you, give you a Toyota, a used one, and use the money that's left over to get another person the same Toyota, a used one, because they don't have a car. I own my wife and I. We own our home. This will take away our right to own a home. It will take away the rights of business owners. They no longer own their business. Nobody owns anything. You are told to divide everything you have amongst everybody else. You have something so that the person next to you doesn't have. You have to divide what you have with them. You don't have personal property anymore. You don't have private property. You have nothing. The state now owns it. It is taken from you and given to somebody else because they don't have the will or the gumption to go out and earn it themselves. That $900 iPhone you have doesn't belong to you anymore. You have to share it with somebody else now. And it doesn't matter who you want to share it with. The government tells you who to share it with. So, number 5, socialism opposes traditional marriage. I was against marriage for about 4 years. Well, actually longer than that. I regretted marrying my ex-wife a couple of years in. And we were together 14 years, split up 4 years. I was single. When my wife and I got together, we decided we weren't going to get married. We got together in, April. Well, we'd known each other for several years. Finally got together, I believe it was in late March, early April 2010. Moved in together in May 2010. I kept telling her, no, we're not getting married. We don't want to get married. August, I proposed. She cried and accepted before I even got it out of my mouth. I told her, I said, you can let me finish asking you first, can't you? We ended up getting married. We've been married, 9 years. 9 years this month. It's been a great 9 years. One of the best times of my life. And socialism wants to take that away from you. It sees no moral reason for people to restrict sex to marriage. That is, to end a indissoluble union between a man and a woman. Furthermore, socialism undermines private property, which Frederick Engels, founder of modern socialism and communism, along with Karl Marx, saw as a foundation of traditional marriage. You might as well just call it a state union. There's no marriage. It's a civil union. It means next to nothing. Let's take away the sentimental value of your wedding day. I know a lot of you women out there kind of value that big time. That's why women want to get married to a decent guy. That's kind of like their goal. Let's go get married to a decent guy and have a family. Well, under socialism, that doesn't exist anymore. You're told that now you're together, get a civil union, and you're taxed to death. So, let's go to number 6. This is sad. This part is sad. Socialism opposes parental rights in education. Socialism has the state and not parents control the education of children. That's close to what we have today. But at least today, you have a choice which school your child goes to. You don't have to go to the school in your school district. You can go to take your kid to school in another school district. Schools don't like that because the fewer kids they have in their school district, the less money the school gets. There's been a big to-do in the past about that in Poto, Oklahoma. Poto High School actually were throwing kids out, getting rid of kids and taking them off records that they were thrown out, saying and telling the government they were still in school and getting money on kids that were no longer there. And Any kid that did not, any child that didn't have what it took to make the school look shining and exemplary were gotten rid of. So these schools, the students made great test scores. They kept the best of the brightest, got rid of the rest, and they collected money from the state by saying all these other kids were still there. They got into a lot of trouble. This is what socialism does. Turns out the head honcho of the school that made these decisions was a socialist. She was a dyed-in-the-wool socialist. And that's what socialism does. It takes away your right to get them out of one school, put them into another where they can get an education. They'll toss them out because they're not worth teaching. This was pretty rife in the Soviet Union before the collapse of communism there. If you went there and you started school, you didn't pass the tests, you didn't do good, they would take you out of school and make you a street sweeper, a person cleaning out ditches, digging ditches, cleaning portable bathrooms. That's truth. That's actually happened there during in Soviet Russia. Now people are saying, well, Bernie Sanders will do that. He's promising free college. How many people are going to college right now and doing nothing with it because there's no demand for what they went to college for? I did a show. We did a video on this a little over a year ago about this. I believe we got it archived here on YouTube. But you're going to college under socialism. If it's free, they even do this. It's even in Europe. To go to university there, you have to actually have high enough test scores to go. Because it's free doesn't mean you're going to go. It means you still got to be qualified to go. You still got to take test scores to go. Right now, Trump is trying to push the fact that every high school has to have a vocational education program. I'm all for that. I'm all for vocational education. Nope, you're not going to work in an office all day. You're not going to wear a suit and drive a Porsche. You're going to have a career. You make it, or even if you're working with somebody and it doesn't work out, you'll have the knowledge to go and start your own business. Start doing it on your own, freelance. It's turning it into what you get what you put into it. So, but anyway, let me go to number 7 here. I hope I'm making my point here. Number 7, socialism promotes radical equality. A supposed absolute equality among men is the fundamental assumption of socialism. Therefore, it sees any inequality as unjust in itself. Private employers are quickly portrayed as exploiters, whose profits really belong to their employees. As a consequence, they rule out the system of wage earning. That goes into the whole victim's mentality that has been fostered to keep us separated. The whole social justice thing. Jesus. You got social justice warriors trashing men because we're supposedly horrible people because we're straight and white. We're not equal to everybody else. We're supposedly better. We've got to hinder ourselves, so that everybody else has a chance. An example, though, there is a weird example here. A straight white male, such as myself, works his ass off for 20 years, ends up with a decent salary, living in a decent home with a decent car, and finally he's successful because he has $1 million. A woman, on the other hand, a woman of color, can go start a bakery on a corner and break even the first year, and she's successful. It seems that success is relative due to the color of your skin and your gender. A gay person could go start a business and make no money at it whatsoever, but he's got a business, so he's successful. Therefore, it's predicated on his gender. Socialism pushes this, the identity politics. That's one of the main things of socialism. To keep everybody separated, keep everybody down, is identity politics. We've been seeing this happening for a while. Let me get another drink here. My voice is going a little overtime here. We've seen a lot of this happening here lately because some Jussie Smollett was an African American who happened to be a homosexual. He's right, even though it was proven that he faked the whole assault, but it was Trump's fault. Trump did it. They were Trump supporters. Yeah. All because of his color of his skin and his sexual orientation. This is pure identity politics. Like I said, this is America versus social justice. It's not Republicans versus Democrats. It hasn't been in a long time. So let's go to number 8 here really fast. We'll get this wrapped up here really soon. Number 8, socialism promotes atheism. I'm going to explain something first. Okay? I'm not a Christian. I don't believe in God. But I'm not an atheist. I'm Buddhist. I'm a very devout Buddhist, honestly. I'm not going to BS you. I'm not going to lie to you. I have a sense of purpose. I have a sense of duty and responsibility. So, so I'm not going to lie to you about this, about my beliefs. Period. I'm very proud of my beliefs. But socialism, there is no absolute truths or revealed morals that establish standards of conduct and that apply to everyone, everywhere, and always. Everything evolves, including right and wrong, good and evil. There is no place for the Ten Commandments, neither in the private mind or in the public square, which means that morals are out the window. Do what you will. Do what you want to do. It all depends on who you are, what you're doing, and the situation and the location. Murder is justified given the circumstances. Cheating on your spouse is justified given the circumstances. Theft is justified given the circumstances. Whatever they want to say the circumstances are that allows it to happen. We're not saying that you can go out and steal from somebody and is excused. It also goes into people can come and steal from you, and given certain circumstances, it's justified, according to socialism. There's gray areas everywhere. There's no good, there's no bad. There's just gray areas. That's it. Now, a lot of you think that, well, it's all gray areas. Yeah, it is. And it's not good. Well, it's gray areas, so it's easy to figure out. No, it's not. No. It's not easy to figure out. Morality is legislated by the state. The good thing about our system is morality cannot be legislated. It cannot be enforced on you. There is a thing going on right now about judges forcing drunk drivers and public drunks to join Alcoholics Anonymous, forcing them to go through that 12-step program, which is based on religious beliefs. Religious beliefs are a form of morality. You cannot legislate morality or make a person go to a religious institution against their will. And there is a thing going on right now where some judges are in a lot of trouble for this. I was going to do a show on that, but I'm waiting for things to develop. I don't want to come out here and start saying things, that are later on proven wrong. I'm not a fact checker. I'm not somebody who's going to sit here and tell you, well, this is what happened, and change things around a little bit later on to make it say, well, I said the same thing. No, that's the whole thing about, about the gray area, where somebody will tell you, well, Trump murders children. You're proven wrong. And it's like, well, in a way he murders children. How in a way? It's the gray area. That goes into the gray area concept. How socialism will destroy morality. I'm not sitting here trying to preach kill every atheist or every communist out there. They just need to know they're doing wrong, and insulting them is not helping them. It's not helping the situation. Remember that. Calling somebody a demon rat or a commie bastard isn't solving the problem. It's adding to it. So, let's go to number 9. Socialism promotes relativism. It's kind of the same thing as number 8 in a way. For socialism, there is no absolute truth or revealed morals that establish standards of conduct that apply to everyone, everywhere, and always. Everything evolves, including right and wrong, good and evil. There is no place for the Ten Commandments, neither the private mind in the public square. That goes straight into number 8. Did I just mention number 9 twice? Forgive me, folks. It's early. I don't have a script. I'm winging this whole thing. Let's just go to number 10, which goes into some people I know. Socialism mocks religion. According to Karl Marx, religion is the opium of the people. Lenin, founder of the Soviet Union, agreed. Religion is opium for the people. Religion is a sort of spiritual booze in which the slaves of capital drown their human image, their demand for a life more or less worthy of man. I don't like quoting Lenin. Lenin was a snapcase, okay? But, I mean, socialism does mock religion in a lot of ways because, one, they don't want religion. Because people follow religion. People you look at religion as their authority. Socialism and communism, the state is their ultimate authority. You do as the state says. What the state wants you to do, you do. Without question. Because the state knows more than you do. They know better than you, according to the communist doctrine. Religion takes their power away from you. And that's not something they want. They want total power over you because you're a cog in the machine. That's like a communist China. Nobody there really has a true identity. They're just a cog in the machine. They believe that the government will take care of us. How did that go along? How did that work for you during the coronavirus outbreak there? Yeah, the government took care of you all right. The government sealed people into their apartment buildings. They welded the doors and windows on the first few floors shut to keep people from coming out and spreading the virus. Yeah, the government's taking very good care of you. You know, Bernie Sanders says that the food lines are a good thing, bread lines are a good thing because the poor people didn't get the food and not just the rich people. I don't see a lot of poor people here in America starving to death. There are programs right now, social programs, to help poor people. Now, those of you out there are saying, well, welfare is socialist, highways are socialist. Yes, they're social programs. They're not socialist. They're social programs put up by the government. And the reason we have these is because we have a capitalist system that makes enough money to support this, to support these programs. Under a socialist program, the money doesn't exist anymore. The money belongs to the government, and they tell you, well, your road isn't destroyed enough for us to worry about. You know, so look, guys, I've been going 42 minutes. This is probably the longest video I've done so far. I don't want to bore you guys any more than I already have. I have screwed up so many times, mispronounced words. Oh man, it's insane. That's what I get for not sleeping very much. You guys, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna let you guys go. I'll catch you next week. I'm gonna try to redo the show I was gonna do this week. I'm gonna have to go back, redo a lot of research, redo my notes, everything. It was a good one. I imagine it's gonna be a good one because it disappeared. If it wasn't any good, I would still have it. So anyway, guys and dolls. This has been The World According to Graves. I was your host, Robin Graves, the guy with the 80s hair. Take care of each other. Be good. And always talk hard. Later.